Who are on, thank you for joining me. This is Double One Eight Set Shadow, and today I am bringing you a box opening for both Cardfight Vanguard and Shadowverse Evolve simultaneously. And the reason for that is quite simple. I messed up on my pre-order and I thought that these were actually getting released on the same day, so I was an idiot and didn't look at the dates. So in the end, what happened was I ordered these at the same time for the same order, and because this thing came out this week and this came out the week prior, these didn't ship until these shipped. So I missed a whole week on picking these up, unfortunately, so I missed a whole week on being able to play this stuff. That was my bad, but I have them now, so now I can open them here and we'll see what we can get. So for today, we're going to be cracking open 4 boxes of Omens Eternal and 2 boxes of Illusionless Strife. And we'll see what I get from here. So now the question is, which one to start with? 2 boxes of this, and then 4 of this. I think we'll start with Shadowverse. I'll have more to go through here, and yeah. Let's go ahead and get started. So, why did this thing get... There we go. That was interesting. Normally it's flush with the edge, so you can usually just put a fingernail in between there and easily cut that out. Okay, so crack this open. Let's see. So, this is the first anniversary set. This is a first anniversary promoted set for Shadowverse. So what they've also done is, as a box topper, you'll get a token card with this, if this thing will show, a first anniversary hot stamp on it. And the token itself is foil. You can kind of see as well that the foiling also extends to the border on top of that. The backside is typical of a token, so nothing to really write home on that. There are 16 packs in a box, as before. Case-wise, it'll be just like every case from set 2 onward, where you get 16 boosters in a box, and you get 16 boxes in a case. Up to this point, set 1 is still really the only exception of this, where you got 20 boxes in a case. And it was still 16 packs in a box. So you got a lot more worth, so to speak, out of getting a case of set 1. But set 1 also had more cards in it. So you needed more boxes to accommodate for the bigger set overall. Alright. So the thing about Shadowverse packs is that they are really tough to open. And no matter how many ways I've tried to open them, there's always some kind of a risk of damaging the cards on the inside. So the safest way, honestly, is with a pair of scissors. And that's what I've found to be the best. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut them all open, and then we will get started with the box. Let's see. Yeah. Because essentially, there are at least 3 different ways you can cut these open. Effectively, they all have the little notch here. So typically, the way you want to open it is just to pull it all to the side. But the thing is, these packs have a lot of like glue on within the plastic, or the plastic is really strong. So it's very hard to actually pull this whole thing off and get the cards out. You could pull it to the back, but from what I've found is that could damage the token card inside too, especially, which, given that there is also a God pack in this set, I don't want to take chances if I don't have to. On top of that, the other thing you could do is you could take the pack and crack it open from the back, and if you try to pull it from this side, it will sear itself open pretty seamlessly. The problem is, almost every single time I've done that, the front card always seems to have some kind of damage on it. I'm not sure how, but it just does. So just to keep it simple and safe, I am just going to use scissors this time. The final way you could do it, which is probably the safest if you don't have scissors, is to just cut the corner and then pull it open from the seam in the back. Ultimately, I think those are the best options. All right, so let's get started here. All right, so some cards we got. A few bronzes. We got Cat Cannoneer, Hamil. So these cards were originally Portalcraft in the all three of these cards were actually Portalcraft in the mobile game. But Cat Cannoneer is a neutral now, while Hamelin is an Abysscraft follower, and Disciple of Destruction is now a Runecraft follower. So those are the bronzes that we pulled. We got Disciple of Repose, and then we got Cog Spinner, and then we got our gold, Apostle of Disdain, and we got another silver, Artesian, which I believe is also supposed to be a Portalcraft card, but it is a Swordcraft follower here. And we got a new token with this set too. This set introduces puppets. Puppets used to be a Portalcraft archetype in the mobile game, but now puppets are Forestcraft, which I really enjoy because puppets and resonance were my favorite archetypes when it came to the mobile game. So I'm pretty ecstatic about that one. The Usurpation Thief series is also in this box. We got Thundering Roar. That's a pretty good legendary to start with. We got Octrice. So, just as I was talking about, Swordcraft got a bunch of these new what you call thief units. So this one is probably the biggest of all, where the way it works is you can steal cards out of your opponent's cemetery, and this card forces your opponent to mill cards into their cemetery on top of that. So you could potentially use it as a deck out sort of deck too. So you could try to beat your opponent simply by decking them out. You usually won't reach that level unless your opponent plays a deck that really, really, really draws a lot of cards or mills out of the deck. But it is a possible way to win. Let's see what else we got. Servant of Unkilling, Ancient Amplifier, Colossal Construct. Here is Noah, Vengeful Puppeteer, which is the boss unit for the puppets right now. Craving Splendor is a pretty good one to pick up too. Imperial Swordsman, and we got Apostle of Repose. And then we've got Shield Guardian, which is a Swordcraft ward token that you can make use of. Okay. Then we've got, let's see. All these omens have their own little support cards that are provided for each of the crafts as well. Grave Splendor. Iron Staff Mechanic became a Runecraft follower. It was originally a Portalcraft follower. Apostle of Craving, that's a pretty good one to get. Mask Puppet. And then I pulled the other one just earlier. We got Destruction in Black and Destruction in White. And if I pull Lishiana, I'll tell you what that's all about. But essentially, this used to be a pretty interesting archetype for Portalcraft as well, but it's now Runecraft. Total Domination, Spine Blade, Giant, Enlightenment. Here's a nice gold to pick up. Pina, Dynamite Daredevil. So this one allows you to pick up level 1 cards, or it destroys a level 1 card on play. We got Flower Doll as well, which is something I'm definitely going to be playing too. And I can't wait for all the puppet support that's coming later down the line too. Airship, Metano, Lust. Then we got Rosa Mecha Wing. This one became a neutral follower, but also was Portalcraft originally. Craving Splendor. We got God Bullet. This is an interesting one. It can't attack enemy leaders, and you have to rest it to use its effect, where it'll send another follower you have to the drop, and then your opponent takes damage equal to the attack of the follower that was dropped. And then I got the Evo of Apostle of Usurpation, which is another one of the thieves for Swordcraft. Alright, what did we get next? Meta Production, Automation Soldiers, another puppet card. Between saying Portal Craft and Puppet Craft, it's rough to say. The silvers, we got Adversity, and I got an Evo Izuda, the Omen of Unkilling. So there's this whole unkilling archetype in Forestcraft from the game where basically it's not about taking out your opponent's units, it's reducing their strength to 0 so that the units can't actually do any damage. They've altered it a bit for this version of the game, where Izunda was a pretty rough card to deal with. It drops your opponent's life to a maximum of 6, and it was a 10-point play in the original game. This one is a little different, where it does 6 damage as long as the enemy leader has at least 10 health. So it can be devastating. And in this game, it's not as costly as it was in the other game. Electromagnetic Rhino. This one is a Storm Follower, which it immediately gets 3 when you play it. And then it also multiplies its attack based off how many rhinos that you mill off of its special ability, which is just milling the top 4 of your deck. Fairy Torrent is a new bound. It was a bounce spell in the original game as well, but in this game it just takes fairies that are on your board or pixies that are on your board and puts them back into your EX area, which is a little bit different but effectively the same. Bowman. Deus Ex Machina also makes a return in this set. This was also Portalcraft originally, but now it is Havencraft. So either it gives you a new 4-card hand, or it lets you recover 4 play points. Other stuff we got. More of the Apostles. And then we got Ancient Artifact as the token this time. Let's see what else we got. Kinetic Warrior. Just all these different Portalcraft cards this time around. Set 5 was the original set in the mobile game where we got a bunch of our Portalcraft cards, so I'm actually not too surprised at that. Apostle of Silence, which is part of Hand Control Abyss. The interesting thing is that the Apostle of Silence wholly depends on your opponent not having any hand to be able to use its full effect, and getting that sort of level is kind of tough. Oh, this is an interesting one. Silent Purge, and I got a foil of it. So you select an enemy follower, destroy it, then the controller discards a card. So that's an interesting one, given that it is a hand control deck. Destructive Refrain, which is a Liciana support card. And then we got Mystic Artifact, which is a ward follower that allows you to draw. That was a pretty annoying artifact to deal with, and we only just got it in our game here. What else have we got? Rao, Omen of Truth. This was a hilarious one in the original game too. So in this one, you discard something to deal 9 damage. We got Unkilling again. Now this is a funny card. The Ancient Protector. So this is a Havencraft card, and just so you know, the way it works is that while it's on the field, you don't lose the game. It legit says this. While this card is on your field, you can't lose the game, and your opponent can't win. Which is hilarious. And then when your leader's defense becomes 0 or less, you put this card into the cemetery and then change your leader's defense to 1. So basically, it saves you from death once. And then we got the Evo of Marwan, which is this is a very hilarious one, where on Evo, it gets you an extra play point and 3 life and a draw. But there are 2 ways you can Evo into this card. The typical Evo is you need 4 points. The other way to Evo this card is to skip your next turn. which can be very risky. But this thing is an 8/8 aura with ward, so it's very difficult for your opponent to deal you any damage if you choose the skip the turn option, especially at turn 4, which is how much the regular card costs. The Manipulator is a interesting card too, which steals cards of your opponents. As let me see. Oh no, it used to steal cards in the original game, but this one is a little different. It forces your opponent to either not draw, not get more play points, or they can't play followers on the next turn, which is interesting. And this one, Demon's Epithet, this is the only card you really need to add in the Fable Alice burn deck. The one for Egg Haven, sorry. Because it effectively just boosts your ability to burn your opponent. It's really the only one you need, but there are some other texts that you might consider playing too. Apostle of Truth, and then Servant of Lust. Another Mystic artifact on top of that. And what else have we got? Some more Bowman, and I got a foiled version of Servant of Repose. What does this do? At the start of each opponent's main phase, you get 1 life back. Pretty good. Cog Spinner, the base form of Apostle of Usurpation, and another Flower Doll. And finally, last pack is Repose. We got Enlightenment, Truth, Hakrabi. This one's a Havencraft follower now, but it used to be Portalcraft as well. You discard an amulet to search for an amulet that's 1 play point and put it straight onto the field. And then I got an Evo of Noah. And yeah, so that was box 1. Let's go ahead and open one more box of Omen. I mean, I suppose I could also illustrate just what I was I actually kind of wanted this one, the Fairy Wisp first anniversary. Okay, but I'll show you what I was talking about when it comes to opening these packs by hand. So, first thing is just trying to open it normally. You can see that I tried to open it from the front like this, but it ended up opening from the back. So thankfully it ripped all the way down though, so that worked out nicely. Let's see what we got. Usurpation, Masked Puppet, Disdain. We got Confront Adversary and Servant of Lust. But one thing I do want to know, when opening it like that, I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of weak, but I guess if you take a look at it from here, if the camera will just, nope, does not want to work properly. I guess I have to move it. You can kind of see it there, how it just bent out of shape a little bit. So you want to be careful when opening these packs in that manner, because you might damage the front card as a result, like I just did right there. So I mean, that's one way to open the pack. The next was literally just trying to cut it all the way down from the back, which usually works, but again, you still run the risk of shipping the first card, which I did ship it a little bit. I mean, yeah, it's just hard to tell, but it's there. Cohorts, and we got Gilsray, Artesian, the Unkilling, the Repose, and Medio. So nothing too big on that one. And then the other method I was talking about is opening it like this, where it cuts off pretty easily like that, but you can definitely see what happened here, and I still don't understand how that worked. But in any case, that is probably not the best idea, because you will damage the first card pretty badly because of it. We got Deuce again, Wings of Lust, God Bullet, and Flower Doll. So the first card is pretty much always a bronze, so normally you don't have to worry too much about it, but I would still just be careful. And then this is the last way that I would recommend trying, at least. This is probably the best way to do it without causing damage. Just rip the corner and then pull it from the top. This will be the safest way to open the packs without damaging any of the cards. Hakrabi, and we got Noah again. And I guess to that point, I guess I'll just start doing it like that. Don't have to spend time watching me just cut them open with scissors. Demolitionist. What is the airship? Oh, it's only an Evo follower, so we'd have to see the Evo for the effect. Splendor, Unkilling, Craving, and then we got a Masked Puppet. Okay. Oh, right. Because the other thing is that even pulling the corner, you can't really pull the cards out. I feel like this is just something specific when it comes to standard size cards, given how large they are. For Japanese size ones, it's really not that much of a problem, given how small they... Ooh! A foil of Craving Splendor. You can barely tell, though. That's a shame. Still, that's a good foil to pull. Vengeful Puppeteer. We got the Apostle of Silence again. And another puppet. Alright. Alright. Next up, we've got... Yep. No damages there. The Giant and Enlightenment. We got another Apostle of Truth. And we got Usurpation's Evo. Okay. And then we've got Construct, the Silence, Repose and Spinner, and Fairy Torrent. Then we got another Epleth. Let me see if I can. I don't think it's actually that easy to... Oh, I guess you could open it like this too. And that doesn't look like it did anything. Yeah, I think that might be another way to do it, which I think it should be safe. We got another Rhino. Unkilling. Okay. Okay, so let's give that a try. See how consistently that works. Yeah, because this is the way I like to open my packs. But that's just me coming from a Yu-Gi-Oh background. That's how you would always open your packs there. We got another Rao, Noah, the Apostle of Lust, and we got the Omen of One. What's his name? Measure a Bane. I have no idea how you pronounce that. I am sorry. But this is the cover, one of the bigger cover cards of the set when it comes to, I guess, the cover of one of the booster packs. But the way that one works is, depending on whether it's Evo'd or not, it's the same overall effect where if you have no cards in your hand, it does damage to your opponent's leader. If you do still have cards in your hand, it only does damage to followers. Craving Splendor, and then we've got Disciple of Lust. That's a nice one to pull for Sanguine. And for those of you who don't know, Sanguine is a mechanic for Abysscraft where if you've taken damage this turn, you'll be in Sanguine state. Let's see. Embrace Wing, Servant of Destruction, Monochrome. We got another Manipulator and another Evo Repose. Apostle. Well, good to know that I can open these things like Yu-Gi-Oh packs now. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. Flower Doll. And we got a, yeah, it's a foil Wings of Lust. It is so hard to tell though. Uh, you really need the proper amount. You need the proper lighting for that. Lyrial Arch Throne. This is also a good one to pick up. And especially when dealing with something like Egg Haven too. While this card is on the board, you can't take effect damage. And Egg Haven is all about dealing you effect damage between Humpty Dumpty, the Tin Man, the Epithet, which is the new way of dealing damage like that. Yeah, so it cancels all that damage, making it much easier to live. A foil Apostle of Truth. Yeah, again, it's just hard. I need to figure out a better lighting scheme to get those things to shine. Disruptive Refrain, and then we got Rosa again. All right. 2 more packs. Okay, we got some bronzes there. Unkilling. Then we got Disdainful Rendering, which this one is... Yeah, it's exactly the same as how it was in the mobile game. It deals 1 damage to one of your followers and 3 damage to an opponent's follower. Last pack of the second box. Let's see. Bowman, Repose, Domination. We got another Octorus. That's pretty good. And then we got Machine Soldier, Usurpation, and an Evo of Rao. For the Evo, you look at... Yeah, you get 3 cards from the top 9 of your deck. And on top of that, they all cost 3 less. So it's a pretty big one. But the card itself is a pretty high cost follower to play. So you do need to get to late game to really take advantage of it. Okay, so let's take a quick break from Shadowverse and move over to Vanguard, shall we? Let me just get some of this out of the way. Let's see what we get for Illusionless Strife. Okay. So, crack open the box. We do have box toppers here where, oh, a box topper with the Quintessent Quintuplets starter, and then we get a pair of promos, which I can... What the... Come on. Wow. Skill issue? Can't crack that. That is annoying. That was much easier. Okay, so let's see what we got here. This is Azel's promo from old tournament packs. Knight of Insightful Eyes, Alstis, and then we got Friendship Fairy, which is one of Magnolia's promo cards from a tournament pack past. Both of these, if I recall, yeah, both of these should be getting reprinted in Festival 2024. I know this one is for sure. I can't remember if also this is too. I don't think it was, but it might be. Okay, so for Vanguard, similar to Shadowverse, it'll be 16 packs. But the nice thing is that being Japanese size, these are much easier to crack open without damaging things. Freezing Wave. I was covering this on Market Watch for the sneak peek, and it was hilarious to see this thing be like $2-3 to begin. Fly Up My Heart. What else have we got? Cavity Malglia. I guess that's supposed to be Bladmire's starter. I can't remember. Then we have Kyoka support in here too. Energy markers. We're starting with Hikari on this one. So yeah, we will get energy cards in set 2 as well, which is definitely good. We got okay, so We got some broccoli. I hope you guys eat your veggies, because there's a lot of broccoli to pick up in this set. And then we got a Colossus on top of that, which is, what is this? It's Bladmeyer support. Okay. Alright. Yeah, these booster packs are so much easier to open in comparison to Shadowverse. Lugshaft, more Direful Dolls. That looks pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie. Another energy marker already. And this time it's Suo, who is the Bladmeyer character. Let's see. And then we got 2 rares this time. This one though, I like this. Full Axle Officer. If your order zone has a prison, Soul Blast, choose an opponent's rear guard, imprison it, and if you didn't imprison, this thing gets 10k. So either it's a Soul Blast for 10k or a Soul Blast to put something into prison. Not bad. And I like the artwork on that one. I mean, it's a bike. Definitely not... I don't know, because I mean, I think the last time I talked about Fated Clash, I was kind of talking about how Divine Z is feeling like the 5Ds of Cardfight Vanguard. Artillery, okay, Dust Storm. So this is Eugene? No, this is not Eugene support. This is for the new Gree Andra. And on top of that, we also got Ichika. Yeah, one of the quintessence. I will just put that with the comments. And then we also got Eiffel, which is Solryon support. This Solryon came from set 10. It just never really took off, so nobody really plays it that much. Okay, let's see what else we got. Gree. Here's one of those Vrilgas I was talking about. And then Anna. Oh, we got another Vrilga too. And then I got Nino. Okay. Then we got Golem and Circreta. Alright, so we got Nino. Man, I don't have that much room. Let's try it this way. And then we got, let's see, Vacant Fang. We got Yotsuba this time, Bedrock Crow, and then I got the Flam Glam. This is a new lyrical monasterio archetype of rock stars. It's unusual, but I mean, it's all about idols. But yeah, rock star idols are, I mean, there are definitely Japanese bands that give more of a idol-esque but not idol sort of. Okay, so we got a silver rare this time. It's a Semblebleed Dragon. What does this one do? Place on rear Soul Blast 2, and you search your deck for a set order, or you choose a set order, and if you have 3 or more cards with the same name as it, you countercharge. So not a bad card. And then we just got 2 rares out of that after that. Okay. What else? Right, I do have to remember silver rares are a thing. Yep, and then we get this Climax-esque looking order card for the Vrilga stuff. We got a frame rare this time, Vary of Conolence Truldes. This is a Zorga support card. And then we got 2 more rares out of that. All right. Okay, and then let's see what else we got. Yotsuba again, Compassion Mechanic, and Griondra. Now, I can already say that this is not turning out to be that great of a box. This, I don't even understand where they were going with this thing. The way it works is that it rests itself on the Vanguard circle to call 2 cards from your soul, but then you put the 2 cards back into soul later and then restand this and give your front row power. But the thing is, you just put one of your front rows back into the soul, so it lost its value. I honestly don't even understand what they were thinking with this card. It's honestly pretty weak. Then we've got Call and Respond. What else have we got here? Another energy card. This time it's Masanori. And then we got Nino, Edia, and we got Avarice Wrestler. What does this one do? Discard a oh, right. This set also brings these cards which, if you play them, you discard a card and then you search for an order from your deck, and then you discard the order and then you play the order from the drop. However, it cannot pick up Regulus pieces. That's the only thing to keep in mind there. Then we've got, let's see, that's part of Zorga's ride line, Machine Gun. We got Itsuki, and then Galactic B Hero Sender Ferris. So the heroes also get support in this set. The B heroes, I should say. Originally, they were just called heroes, but then Bushiroad errated them so that they don't mesh with the hero archetype, which you can play in premium. Shame, but yeah, it also made it so that you couldn't search the order off of the order. And then we got our fourth energy, which is the future form of Hikari. Then we got Magda, and then we got Karma. I mean, Karma's a good card to pick up, but value-wise it isn't. This box is looking pretty bad already. What a shame. I got support cards, and then I got the boss units that people don't want to pick up. Galactic B Hero Abel Mods. Okay. We'll put that to the side. And then we got Norma, who is a Kyoka support card, or I should say magazine. Hopefully there's something redeeming. I see something here. Blanca, Rodovas, Itsuki, Siska, and Baldraig. So this is a good one to start off with, but I feel like it's a good one overall. It searches you either a set order or it searches you a grade 2 or greater unit. So it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. I just don't see that many decks playing it at this point. There are definitely decks that'll play it, but among some of the bigger Brand Gate decks, I don't think they're... Oh! That's pretty nice. We got a silver rare of Leal. Okay, that's pretty nice. I will definitely take that one. It's not the DSR, but it's a silver rare. And I mean, I talked about it with Faded Clash, but I love silver rares. They look so gorgeous. Okay, what else did we get? Ezran, Miku, Elana, and we got active live. What is this one? When placed on rearguard other than by a unit's card ability, counterblast to choose a normal order from drop, put it to hand. Huh. So this is basically like an order cycler where its effect only works if you called it not by a unit's card ability. Interesting. Okay, last pack. Let's see what we get here. Then we got... It's Ichika! Okay, so we got three of them here, and then just a few more rares to pick up. Okay, and then this card, Drag Resonance, which thanks to the new reveal of Lutetia recently, there have been some memes around this card with Overlord versus Lutetia with all of its curse orders. All right, let's move back to Shadowverse. Box number 3. And this time we got the Strike Form Golem. And let's go ahead and start. Okay. Destruction. I mean, we've gone through these, so I'm not going to go too heavily into them. Torrent. One thing I will talk about, though, is, as I said, Set 5 is Shadowverse's opportunity to advertise its first anniversary being released to foreign markets. And the problem with Shadowverse, from my market watches up to this point, is that the game has not really been able to take off. We do have a pretty fair showing on it, but ultimately, I do have my concerns as to just where the game will end up going futuristically. Shadowverse Evolve is a game that comes in a time where we have a lot of different card games available in the foreign market already, so it has a lot of competition that it's working with. And I'd say one of the bigger pieces of competition that it's got is within Bushiroad's own realm of card games, because marketing-wise and tournament sponsorship is all handled by Bushiroad for this game. But Bushiroad also has Cardfight, Vanguard, and Weiss Schwarz. In Japan, it also has some other card games on top of that, but in foreign markets, those are the main three. And then when it comes to Vanguard, competitive-wise, Bushiroad has been trying to push for all... It has 3 different formats that it has to compete with. So when it comes to the BCSs, we'll have to see just how Bushiroad decides to handle that. And yeah, there are other games to consider as well. But I mean, the fact that Shadowverse Evolve has to fight with other Bushiroad games to begin with, like Weiss Schwarz players are a pretty dedicated fan base, so I think it's hard to get, and I think it would be harder to get Weiss players to play Shadowverse. It's probably more likely you'd get some Vanguard players, but Standard has become very popular to the point where you also have to consider just how Bushiroad is going to distribute competitive play for the BCS. I had to choose for the BSF tournament between doing teams for Standard or doing Shadowverse. And in the end, I chose Shadowverse because it was the first time that it happened for us. We got Azunda this time. And I really wanted to have that experience. Octrice as well. And we got another Lyril too. World Beyond going in 2025? That's something that I wonder about at all, given that, well, you do get some stuff you can transfer for the mobile game for World Beyond, yeah, but you lose a lot of, I think you lose a lot of the content for the mobile game for converting to World Beyond anyway. So, yeah, I'm actually not sure just how much the mobile game is going. In fact, there has been a... When I went to locals before... The locals I went to today, I had a discussion with the store owner who was talking about how people would buy some Shadowverse product, but then they wouldn't really play in tournaments. And one thing that he told me was that there were a lot of people who came in planning to play it, but then the thing... Oh, not bad. That's not bad. We got the ultimate of Octrice's Evolve. Yeah, that's pretty nice. All right. Let's put that away. Yeah, let's put that one away. Awesome. Okay, so remaining... We got Fina in this pack too. That's pretty good. Yeah. Okay, but continuing on with what I was saying was that what he was telling me is that the thing about the Shadowverse mobile game is that it's a free-to-play game unless you start buying into packs. So most of the players that were going to that local played the game F2P, and I'm one of those people as well. I played Shadowverse F2P. We got Galmix and Rulnai. That's pretty good too. And so going from a game where you don't have to pay into anything, you just have to dedicate your time, versus having to start paying into a real physical game and also go out to tournaments and move around, all that sort of stuff. Apparently, I don't know. Players tended to want to play those players wanted to play the mobile game since it was less cost. But Japan has good showings for its Grand Prix from what I remember hearing from other streamers like Different Fight, where it's just they get thousands of people in Japan. Well, at least 1,000 people, I should say, maybe not thousands. But yeah, it's big in Japan at this point. But yeah, it's still got an uphill battle in the foreign market with especially competing against Vanguard. That's what I really feel like it competes with the most in the front, is that you have to consider. In my case, I had to fight between picking Standard or Shadowverse for teams, and Standard is my main format, the only format I play for Vanguard. So it was hard to accept that I had to give up one of them to be able to play the other. Duel Masters. Yeah. I mean, that is another thing. These games will definitely do better in Japan as they originate in Japan to begin with. But I feel like the ones that really succeed out here also need strong presences of media. Like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh are big here, and One Piece has become pretty big as well, despite its shorter amount of time. And I would say that's mainly because of the... Nice, we got Gilness. And I would say it's mainly because of the media that we've got in the anime. Because everywhere I go now, I feel like out of games that have recently just taken off and gotten started in the last few years, the game that I see the most in locals now is One Piece. Everywhere I go. Well, except for one local where it's still more Pokemon, but I mean, Pokemon is still strong going. Phasing out Yu-Gi-Oh! I have been hearing... Ooh, I got a foil of Disciple of Unkilling. Yeah, I have been hearing a lot... I've been hearing a lot of bad press on Yu-Gi-Oh! Recently when it comes to not necessarily the cost of building a deck, but more so... We're back on what people are saying is just the continuous weak prize support when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! That's been the biggest complaint that I've been hearing recently, on top of the fact that decks are still pretty expensive. And after seeing the more recent Battles of Legend where that new Blue Eyes Ultimate with Magician of Black Chaos is solely a collector's rare, or not collector's rare, a quarter century rare? I think that's what it was called. Yeah. And I remember seeing it in the $400 range to start off with. A friend of mine got really lucky the other day, and he cracked open a box. He pulled it along with Phantom of Yubel. I'm a Yubel fan, so I actually pay a little bit of attention to Yubel, and I used to play that back in the Gladiator Beast format. Yeah, I know, I didn't play that competitively, but yeah. All right, last box for Shadowverse. Hellflame Dragon is my last one. That's a pretty good one. I still have to go back and find mine. The lack of an anime to... True, and since Brains, I think the only anime left is the Rush Duel anime, if I remember right. And I don't think they even have... They didn't do Rush Duel in English, did they? Half Prince, Short Prince. Yeah, that's a problem too, that's for sure. Enlightenment foil. Yeah, so I got the shiny sword. Silent Purge, and we got another lyrical. Yeah. I mean, my history with Yu-Gi-Oh! Just fell off a cliff just before the... It fell off a cliff just before Tachyon Galaxy. And that's when I got into Vanguard. But keeping up with it, because I still have cards, yeah, it's been hard to get back into the game with the change of how the game's rules have been, and the fact that the paradigm has changed to be very much you need to be able to counter on the first turn with hand traps now. Ultimately, I'm just, yeah. The cost of entry for a lot of games is pretty pricey. Cost of entry. Oh, cost of entry as in like the decks? Yeah, because when I think of cost of entry, I think you mean like entry into a tournament, which should relatively be the same across games. But for games that have more expensive booster packs, that gets higher. Okay, yeah, deck costs. That's right. Yu-Gi-Oh's deck costs are ridiculously high. When I'm looking on TCG Player at articles that are trying to illustrate competitive decks, and I see all the deck costs at $400 to $600 to eventually $1,500 for base rarity, that's a problem. That's a massive problem when your only prize support is literally prize cards, mats, and aside from that, not too much else. And then you've got to get rid of it all yourself too. And then of course, the tournaments themselves cost money too. Holy crap, Grand Archive is 300 to 500. That's I think I recall a friend of mine talking about that too. That Grand... Wait a minute, what just happened here? Oh, wow. What the hell? Wow. That is some bad quality support. It's a bronze, but damn, that's bad quality support. No, that's not a misprint. That is not a misprint. That is a literal rip. That is a literal rip. It's ripped off. I got ripped off. Wow. Thankfully, it's a bronze, but yeah. Yeah. That's pretty bad. And that's another thing I've been hearing recently with sets. I mean, I've been hearing it with Yu-Gi-Oh! Recently, but I guess for Shadowverse Evolved, there are problems with this as well. But quality control of boost of packs and cards seems to have been pretty bad as of late. So that's something else that I'm getting concerned about. And I mean, I'm not too surprised, given that they are... I mean, that... Huh? The Now Mat. Yeah. Now is just a fan favorite, no matter where you look. Even if you go for the Japanese supply products, that is insane. Just how much of a... Do you even call it a cult? Hakrabi. Maiden Sea. Huh. Maiden Sea. Only problem from set 1. Interesting. Because one thing I do remember about Shadowverse quality control, and I recall seeing this on someone's YouTube, was when they pulled a signed version, a signed card from... Okay, we got another Gilneas, that's good. They got a signed card from... Where was it again? Uma Musume, that's right. And what they were saying was that a lot of the legendary foils, and I wonder if any of these have it. Let me see. I don't think any of these ones have it, but prior legendaries would have a line go through the top, like some kind of a foil line where you can clearly tell that there's a line across it. But it doesn't look like set 5 has that problem, which is definitely good. In fact, let me just make sure this... nope, this one looks to be good too. Bend like a boomerang. Well, it's true that Shadowverse cards are a little bit stronger, but at the same time, they still do bend. It's just that they do have to be exposed to a significant amount of humidity for that. Yep. But as long as they're in a sleeve, the chance of that actually happening is significantly lower. Yep. For Illusionless Strife, we have Friendship Fairy as a box topper as well. That's right. But then it's coming in Festival 2024 too. Ultimately, I just feel like they got lazy when it comes to the box toppers for this set, and especially for Divine Set 3. They literally announced that the box topper and the tournament pack promo campaign for Divine Set 3 is going to be the pack for Set 13. Literally the same. And they even announced it that way. They didn't even try to advertise it as Divine Set 3's promo pack. They literally just said, hey, we're just going to give you Set 13. Don't get mad at us. Yeah, I don't really know what Bushiroad was thinking on that one. Especially given that a lot of the cards in there are getting reprinted anyway. So let's see what we got this time. So we got Friendship Fairy as the first one, another quintet. Yep, that does. Now can I... That one opened pretty easily. And then... What's the second one? Light That Shines on Solitude. That's not a bad one. Yeah, each box should come with a quint starter. You're right, you say. Then that'll... And I guess to that point, they're not even including it in the main set. To that same point. I mean, it makes sense if they're including it as a box topper. No Hololive. I don't think they're going to do any Hololive. I don't think they're going to do any Hololive collaborations with Shadowverse. I know they did it for Vanguard back in set 10. I don't think we're going to get it at all. We didn't get the Hololive collab for set 2. We did get the Millie Parfait one for set 3, but that's not the main agency, I believe. That's the secondary agency that I've been hearing some controversy about. I don't really know too much about it. I don't follow VTubers that much, so I couldn't really tell you, unfortunately. Pantera the Slasher. It's a... Yes, Kudos. Oh, okay. So I guess that's the meme name for this whole debacle. Because I think it was Niji Sanji, if I remember right. Yeah. So Pantera they put a card that looks like it would be in Stoichia into Brandgate. Well, Nova Grappler finally coming in here, I suppose. We got Orpha, which is the equivalent of that other one I was talking about for... Yeah. For putting orders into the drop. Yeah. But again, yeah, I don't really follow VTubers that much, so I couldn't really tell you that much. My friends do, so I get all my news from them. Yeah, that's the news I heard. Freydis, which is Kyoka support. Okay. But if I recall correctly, that ended up in a very bad situation when she was terminated. And then what Niji Sanji said about it was outrageous. That's what I heard. We got an energy marker here. It's Hikari again. Then we got... All right, we got Leo. We got the triple rare. And then we got a rare. Yeah, But HoloLive support-wise, there's still more HoloLive collaborations that we've got with Shadowverse Evolve, but yeah, the only collab we got VTuber-wise was Niji Sanji. What was this one? Magic Stimulus What was this? Oh, it's a Leopold support card. And I gotta say, that looks pretty good as a silver rare. Oh, am I kidding? Pretty much everything looks good as a silver rare. Almost everything looks good. Yeah. I do think a whole probably. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try, especially since they at least did Niji Sanji. But if they had at least done, HoloLive is under promise, right? I think that's what the company was called, the agency. I can't remember. Yotsuba and Abel, Stealth Dragon. Okay, this was the what was the thing about this one? I can't remember. What did this do? When placed on rearguard, Soul Blast. Oh no, Energy Blast. Cover. Okay, gotcha. Choose the same number of your opponent's rearguards as the number of. Oh yeah, that's what this card was about. It's anti-Brandgate. For every set order that your opponent has, you retire one of their units. Hollow E and second. Okay. Gotcha. And then Andra, Vilga, Freezing. We got another energy marker. Alright. Hikari's future form. Gastless Dragon. What is this one? When your Vanguard is placed during the battle phase, Energy Blast 3 to countercharge. And then this unit gets 5k. Okay. Amorta support. And that is... I am putting these double rares with the triple rares. I wonder what other kinds of collabs would be good to see with Shadowverse, even if they're English exclusive. I mean, we've got the overall Idolmaster collab coming as a collab set, so that's also something to look forward to. Arcness, Blair Brown, Alensia. That's another frame rare. Yeah, I wonder. I mean, they did the Code Geass collab like they did with Set 4 in Set 4, so they kept that consistent. And Code Geass is one of my favorite animes, so that was definitely a plus for me. Hell, when I first saw the announcement for Set 4 and I didn't see the Code Geass collab, I was like, they're not doing it after all. I went to Japan, picked up all the leaders that I could find, and then they announced it when I got back from Japan, and then I'm like, okay, so now I can get them in English too. But they are significantly more expensive. Like, I managed to get C2 while I was at BSF, but that took a lot of trade value. We got Evoke Alchemist, and we got Roxay, which is Vargra's new support card. Wrong pile. Okay, next up. I have to take a look through this, because I have to see how this works. It looks pretty cool. I didn't actually get to see how this overall series works yet. For Idolmaster, yeah. There will be a few key cards that I'll need to pick up, but just like with Uma Musume, I was never that big of a fan of Idolmaster. We got Zorga. All right. It would have been pretty awesome if they had been able to do a collab set of Code Geass rather than just doing the individual card collabs like with Set 4, but Then again, don't know how they would have been able to pull it off with substantially good artwork, honestly. But then, I don't know, because Uma Musume seems like it worked out. We got Suo, and then Velano again. I think I think Uma Musume was suitable, and it looks like Idol Masters is pretty suitable. I really have to wonder what they would have done with Code Geass. Because after seeing it in Union Arena, which is confirmed to be coming for us, I just have to wonder. What did we get here? Corner Citrus, so the prison support card. An English release, confirmation. English release? Are we talking about the anime or a collab for... Oh, the mobile game, I see, gotcha. Gotcha. The mobile game. Yeah. That's something else. I haven't looked too much at it. Okay, Steam Art. And then Margra. Cardinal Noid. So we've got Orphis support. When your Shadow Army token is placed on a rear guard in the same column, if you have a grade 3 or greater, stand this unit. Get a free Ichigo from Bleach. Ooh, that sounds pretty good. My normal split coming tomorrow. Man, I feel like it's going to be hard for me to part with that silver rare just because it's the silver rare. Or is it because it's like Amorta's beautiful. It's beautiful. I would not put it past Anime Expo to have something like that. Clutch of Toxin. Okay, and that's it for the box. So, wait a second. Wow, what did I do? I completely missed the other half of the last box for Shadowverse. Wow, that's a real slip of the mind. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so I thought I was ending with Vanguard, but it looks like I'm ending with Shadowverse. We got a super legendary of the Evo of Octress. Silver rare, I got it. Yeah, that looks good. It happened again. Yep, it happened again. That is 100% a rip. Okay, so I think we can confirm quality control of this set needs work. Great. Oh well. I swear, if I somehow pulled the God pack and there was quality control issue on that, I would be very, very upset. Okay, so we got a gold of usurpation. Is that it? Holy crap, I cannot tell. This is really hard to tell, but it is foil. It is a foil version. Apostle of Craving, an unidentified subject. On Evo, you draw 2 cards. Yeah, it's an odd name. Yeah, these foils for Shadowverse. The whole downside of it, in my opinion, is that because the bordering of Shadowverse cards is so dark, there's just not enough emphasis that the foil can bring out for the card. That's the only issue I have with it. But otherwise, when you get them in proper lighting, they look gorgeous. But ultimately, I think the most gorgeous looking thing out of everything that I've been pulling are always the silver rares for Vanguard now. I'm really happy they at least made those. We got a regular Galamix. That's pretty good. Destruction, Morton, and we got an Evo of Rulnai. Okay, it's pretty nice. Yeah, but getting back to my overall concerns of where Shadowverse will end up going is ultimately it's competition with Vanguard that really ends up becoming the bigger problem, just because it's going to be a conflict at competitive tournaments for the first part. But of course, we have Bushiroad just trying to compete with other companies like Bandai, Konami, the Pokemon Company as well. But Cardfight Vanguard is holding up. I mean, yeah, of course pricing could be better for Bushiroad's gaming. But at the same time, Bushiroad's tournaments are also all free. So, at the very least, you don't have to worry about paying an entry fee for all that. So, I don't know. If they started making you pay for it, I would definitely want to see pricing really get up there. But if they're not going to change from free tournaments, I'm okay. Like the packs we got for the BSF, they were pretty nice in terms of value. Like if you pulled Explosion or Tin Man for the Egg Burn deck, those things are actually worth quite a bit. Tin Man is still a $50 card on TCG Player. Explosion dropped a little bit, but it still sells for about $40. So that's not bad. I'd say the only really bad promo you could have gotten out of the BSF pack for Shadowverse is the Chess Queen. Honestly, I feel like that's the only really the weakest one you could pull. Because otherwise you've got Heroic Entry. Yeah, Spyro Cutie Angel's definitely a good one to pull. That is a cycler. Eureka's a good one. Swirler is not bad either. So, yeah. I think the only... And for Vanguard, what would be... Let me think. If it's D format among those promos, the worst one you could probably pull is Mytharch Habitat. And even then, Mytharch Habitat is not bad. It's just the lowest value of all of it. Swirler is definitely a good one to have. And I like how the coloring on them is deeper than the foil versions of the cards. Like that was some pretty good coloring for what they had on those promos. So I'm personally okay with what we had for the BSF. Outside of the fact that when it comes, the only thing I remember someone complaining about was that if you got top 8, you didn't even get the promo packs at all. You had to go to free fight if you didn't make it, and you had to compete there in order to get your promos. So the later in the day you go, the less promos you'll get because eventually you'll run out of time. Which in the past, Bushiroad did better than that. They gave you the promos if you made like round 6 or made top 8, depending. I remember that explicitly because I only had one instance where I actually made it to round 6 before. This was double elimination format too. So I got eliminated after going undefeated up to round 4. I made it to table 1 too. It was annoying, but it is what it is. In any case, yeah, it was annoying to hear that they didn't provide the promos for anyone who kept going in the tournament. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that other than I think that was a real slip on their part. Well, with that all said, that's it for the box opening. We got a ton of stuff though. Between 4 boxes, that's a lot of legendaries, which quality control wise, at least on the legendaries, it looks like they're fine. And I didn't see the line problem on any of these, which I was talking... no, it's not there either. But at the same time, we only got 1 super legendary? Yeah, out of 4 boxes, only 1 super legendary. But, I mean, we did get the ultimate rare of this, which is not bad either. I'm not going to complain about that. We got the silver rare of Amorta, which, oh man, that's great. It's not the DSR, but it's still great. I'll take it. A lot of foils as well, some other silver rares. There was some pretty good stuff to pull here. I don't think I did too well on the Vanguard stuff though. Triple rare wise, let me see. Roske is not bad to pick up, and neither is Zorga. Leal is pretty good, but I imagine that one's gonna fall off pretty soon because it's not as big. And then Freydis is definitely gonna be good for Kyoka, but we'll just have to see how players end up building Kyoka after the lyrical set. And ultimately, I just don't think Kyoka and Lutetia got a lot. Yeah, the Seraph support's definitely a good one. That's for sure. Our first restander that does not cost an arm and a leg. Yeah. No God Pack, unfortunately, for the 5th anniversary. I have not seen any of my friends pull that yet. And then, from what I've been seeing on social media, at least 4 of the 10 number cards. Yeah, that's already gone. Well, it's a counter blast to stand, but you energy blast 3 for its imprison skill. So, let's see. When this unit is placed on rear, your opponent chooses a card from the drop, puts it in the prison. If they imprisoned a card, you energy blast 3 to draw. And the second effect is grade 3 or greater Seraph attacks. If 3 or more of an opponent's cards are imprisoned, 10k plus, 5 or more, stand this unit for a counterblast. Yep. Well, yeah, for sure. Compared to the original restander that we had from set 6, which was give your opponent back a perfect card that they might have put in your prison, and then it restands for 2 counterblast, which is pretty expensive in prison, but yeah. Energy counters, it's still the same as before. You get 4 in each box, and it looks like you definitely get 1 of each type as well. So that's good. Therefore, it takes at least 3 boxes to get your max 10. And yeah, otherwise pretty nice. In terms of the dropping Akus Makarites. Wait, what was Akus Makarite? I can't remember. Shoot. Let's see. And then we got... Did I get all 5? We got Itsuki. We got Nino. We got Ichika Nakano. We got Yotsuba. And we got Miku. Yeah, I got all 5 Quints in just 2 boxes. I mean, they're not all the grade 3s, but of all the triple EXs, I got 1 of each. That's pretty ironic. Or, yeah, pretty coincidental. Okay, so with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up there. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and always good having the conversations. And I will see you guys next time. Take care and have a good night.